Welcome back to the GSTL, where Wolf puts his microphone really close to his mouth because he's not used to sitting in this chair.
I'm sorry. Tasus has a funny shaped head.
He does. It's really funny, actually.
Yeah, it is.
But Ragnarok has been the player of choice for TSL, and like we said, we haven't seen this guy. What's he gonna do?
I tell you, man, this is hard because this is Tier's best matchup. Ragnarok needs to win this because if he doesn't, I think they actually put out Symbol instead of. Do you really use Inori in a PvP? Do you really like? I know that PvP is not actually a coin flip, but it oftentimes feels like it in a best of one like this. It's like, do we just flip a coin with Inori?
Well, that's what I see. I used to basically make judgment calls based on that, where I would say you have to send the Protoss out first because you may beat him in that coin flippy situation, and then you still have your solo player to fall back on. But with the way PvP plays nowadays, I would never say that anymore, actually.
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't put out the mirror PvP to eliminate this guy. I'd have Symbol get as far as he can and maybe have Inori kill 1 to 2 people at the end.
Yeah.
Because if you put him out there and like there's just like a build order loss in PvP, which does happen, absolutely.
It's much more safe to put Symbol out. I mean,
exactly.
And this may be his best matchup, but listen, it's Symbol, okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's find out if Ragnarok can really prove himself here at the GSTL. Despite Tosis and Wolf. Sponsored by Hot 6.
Six on.
At the top left, very unknown face to most. This TSL player's ID is
TSL Ragnarok.
He has picked a big stage for this match. The map is Whirlwind. And at the bottom left, his Protoss opponent. So far showing 2 very technical builds. To see if he'll do a third one. His best matchup is PBZ, and his ID is
FXOpen.
I mean, we saw a DT build that transitioned beautifully. I would not say that what the transition was really standard. It was just kind of a reaction to what he saw. But in this game, I feel like we're going to see as normal as PBZ gets on this map.
I think you're right on that, actually. I don't know that he's going to have some crazy build ready right here.
This is a hard map for Protoss to take a third base on, actually, against a Zerg, because the third base has 2 ramps that enter into it that neither are blocked by rocks.
Yeah. And the ramp that you want to block off is the big one.
Yes.
And that makes it really hard to make a true wall there. Like, if those ramps were switched and the big one was pointing towards your natural and the smaller one was going out, it would be a lot easier to actually take that third base because you can just, throw up 2 gateways and a pylon and a cannon and be like, all right, that's not so wide. I can block off with force fields quickly. But you have to invest so much to actually defend that ramp here. It becomes a lot harder. And in fact, Wolf, I just want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this map, actually? Because I don't think we've actually talked about this one.
This map, I still need more time to decide. What are your thoughts, before we get any further, on Ragnarok already pulling a huge blunder and blocking his own gas with his pool? He's actually losing so much gas mining in his main base. You guys will get a shot of it, and again, yeah, look at how much he's blocking there. That's actually insane.
Hold on, you got to watch the drones going back and forth. See if there's ever lag time without a drone in there.
I think he's still losing time. I think it takes longer for him to send across.
Well,
see, there's no lag time, and there always is at least a little bit, isn't there, when you do it efficiently? But if that's the case, does it matter?
I think it almost is, because the last probe or drone or whatever you put on gas is mining at much lower efficiency. Like the first 2 mine at 80% efficiency for the gas approximately, and then the last one mines at 20% efficiency because there's always that wait time. It looks like it's almost exact here. Almost.
By the way, this is an all-in. He's going for Baneling Nest. He's made already about 14 Zerglings.
That's quite a choice. All right, so I actually have to start.
I'm not gonna talk too much more about the build that we've seen. I mean, obviously the gas block positioning here because it's not something we can determine by looking at this. We didn't even talk really. We talked about the map very briefly. We didn't talk about the fact that this guy has gone for a gateway into Nexus.
Yeah.
Super risky, and I don't think he's going to hold this.
No, this is, it looks like he's going to die to this, man. This was a very greedy build by Tier. He's going to try to micro this stock, but his speed's going to finish.
Yeah.
And he can just make like a few Banelings down bottom and keep harassing, and he's going to break through here.
And speed's done, he's just going to run by. Now we can actually even hide some Zerlings in the main to make Banelings.
It's a pretty tough spot, man. All these probes in the main going to have to run away. More
10 more lings coming. 10 lings on the way. And those could be made into Banelings.
Yeah, he did move to the side to make into Banes. He's got to get those Banes to actually finish.
Yeah, this is a little bit overzealous, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like Ragnarok could have executed
now he can actually just pull away and the Stalker can kill them. That was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
He showed his cards too early.
But the natural is under siege by Zerglings right now.
I still don't think he'll even win this game no matter what.
I don't know that there's a huge chance, but he's still trying, man, and he does have a decent number of probes still if he could somehow hold this. And
He's
look
just
at that.
Look at that micro. That was nice.
Yeah, that was very nice.
He's going to have to slipknot those.
That's right, and
well, he's not really actually microing those.
He's down to 7 probes, but there are 2 Stalkers out. Thing is, these are Speedlings. I think he needs to give up that natural no matter what.
Yeah, he needs that ramp.
But he's just going to lose the Stalkers.
That's
That's
over.
it.
Yep.
GG. All right.
Well, okay. Well, we didn't see a whole lot of anything in that game.
No, but that was an unbelievably important win for TSL.
Yes, it was.
For Ragnarok to take that so quickly.
A huge risk on a map of that size.
I'm
he scouted what his opponent was doing. I think that's why he did it. But he went for an early gas. And if you're going to go for an early gas on a map like this, you can't just... I mean, it's hard to say, well, I guess I won't do it where cross spawns, because you're already behind with your hatchery then. You have speed that's not really useful.
May have had something else planned out, but that works so you can see Coach Lee very happy with Ragnarok's win. Interesting that he wanted to go for Gateway in the main, into Core, expand into Forge. It's such a wide area that if you're trying to go for like a 1-gate expansion, now this is something we used to have to talk about a lot because 3-gate expands were still around, 1-gate expands were still around. We haven't been able to talk about it much because it went into only Forge expands. But if you want to do a Gateway expand against Zerg and they have gas, or if you can't scout if they have gas, either way you have to do a 3-gate expand.
Yes.
Or stuff like this will happen because you simply cannot hold. If they get gas and you went 1-gate expansion into Nexus, you can't hold if they do the right strat.
No. Even if you go for 3-gate with the Nexus, you'll have to give up the Nexus if you make the Nexus before the 2 additional gates. You know, usually with the original traditional 3-gate expand, you make the Nexus after you already have sentries being produced. But if you do 1 gateway into Nexus into 2 additional gateways, with some pro gamers have been doing a little bit recently, but it's basically completely gone at this point. If you do a build like that, then you still pretty much have to give up your natural if you lose control of the Speedlings stream in.
Yeah.
And that was a weird build that we saw from Tier. It allows
I feel like it was a wasted build.
Yeah.
That was so unbelievably greedy because if you can get away with that, your tech is so much faster. But, great job by Ragnarok to punish him. I mean, you can't... I saw what he scouted, man. He did not scout whether or not there was gas. And if you do not scout that, you cannot 1-gate expand.
No. And he didn't even check for the hatchery a second time or anything like that. So.
No, and you have to be on top of things like that, especially if you want to do a build like that. So, all right.
Well, that was a bit quick, a bit weird. A lot of the games we've been seeing today have been very technical like this, where you have a very strange build encountering an even stranger build, or a strange build encountering a very textbook build, almost too textbook, so it fails. I want to see, to be honest, a really, really strong Terran player.
Yeah, it has to be that. You're completely right, Wolf. I think it could be the best. Or
Gumiho. That's, I think, the best choice they can make.
Yes. Gumiho, even though he fell out last place in his group, and Lenok did too, of course, but they both looked really good. I thought Gumiho actually looked good enough to get out of the group. The group, though, was it hard, man. Like with Keen cheesing out Squirtle, because I feel like Gumiho's actually better than Keen, and I feel like Gumiho's as good as Thorazane or better. I actually thought that, Thorazane ended up winning that series, but Gumiho definitely could have won. Yeah. And Gumiho's he's just a monster, man. He's one of the best Terrans, okay?
Way underrated.
Way underrated. And I think he'll continue to be underrated probably forever. It makes me feel bad because he's actually so unbelievably talented. He's so quick. Yeah. Just everything about him. He's a super strong Terran, and I would not be surprised if he can take down Ragnarok.
The Towel Terran, I think, impressed me the most. in his matches in WCG last year against ST. That's when I first started to really notice him as a player.
I tell you, I actually really hope that, I know it's not going to happen, but I'd love to see him TVT here today. He is one player I'd love to watch TVT because he goes Reactor to Hellions and Vikings, and that's his unit composition for the first long time, and he controls the map like a boss.
He does. Something to talk about with Gumiho, let's talk about his history a little bit. He actually used to be a random player, was the first random player to appear in the GSTL in the very first season. Then he switched to Terran, then switched to Zerg, and then switched back to Terran. He has a lot of experience with Terran and Zerg, but was playing random for a while, so has a decent amount of Pro-S experience as well. So that's something that I really feel goes into his knowledge.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually very helpful to start out playing random and choose a race because you're going to remember some little tidbits of what it's like in the early game, especially.
Yeah. Very good point.
Ohana is the map, a good choice for TVZ for Gumiho.
I just really like Gumiho as a player because he's so solid. He has so much experience. He's been around for a while, and he's just got that trademark towel, man. There's just something about Gumiho where I'm like, why doesn't he have more fans? Like, why don't people love this guy?
Yeah, I love him, man.
That's what I'm wondering, man. We'll see if he can actually beat this newer TSL player. His second GSL match coming up right now. Cast by Artosis and Wolf.